Hey, welcome back to the channel, everyone. So today we have a good one. The devs respond to one of the hottest community posts on Reddit. This one titled 1,700 hours and $1,300 in, my feedback about the game. So we'll go over that, and then at the end, I'm also going to show everyone how to get involved in the giveaways. We're giving away a lot of stuff on the channel. So we have a bunch of giveaways going on now, so you want to make sure that you get in on those, and a bunch of them coming up in the near future. So you want to make sure that you get in on those again. And they are very simple to join. You don't have to subscribe or anything, although that does help the channel. But stay tuned to the end and I'll go over all that. So let's jump into this. It says, this was meant as a reply to the AMA thread, but for some reason, Reddit won't let me post it there, maybe because it's too long, but here are my comments, questions, concerns, and suggestions regarding the future of the game. I'm a retired software engineer with a past experience in front-end, UI, UX development, database backend, full stack, as well as UE, Unity, WebGL, and have worked on several custom maps and mods in other games. So this guy knows what he's talking about. He says, I've had enough time on my hands and have sunk almost 1,800 hours into Once Human since release, which I can tell you way more than me. So I've spent majority of those hours on territory building, which personally is my favorite feature of the game. I'm very picky about the games I play. It's rare when something is able to capture my attention the way OH has. It's immersive, has a strong community collaboration aspect, and does well at combining aspects from multiple genres, including casual gameplay, building, creativity, fast-paced shoot-'em-up mechanics, and team collaboration. And all of that stuff I also agree with. According to my Steam transaction history, I've spent more than $1,000 on this game, which I'm sure to some Redditors will give me S for, but the way I see it, I have the means to financially support the game, and I love and I want to see it succeed. I'm very close to throwing in the towel and moving on to something else. If you truly value feedback, especially that of your biggest supporters, please listen to these criticisms and suggestions. So I agree with all the stuff that he said there about the game. I think it's awesome. I also see a lot of people, especially in the comments, that are also on the verge of throwing in the towel. I think mostly not for the stuff that he talks about, but for the fact that we're missing a lot of content. But we're going to jump right into it anyway. So the first thing that they respond to is quality control. He says, this is the biggest area in need of improvement. I don't know if it stems from a cultural difference, but to help illustrate, I've heard of studies showing that online shoppers in Eastern countries, e.g. China, tend to sort shopping results by the lowest price, whereas online shoppers in Western countries, e.g. United States and Europe, tend to sort results by the highest average review. Western consumers want quality. So when we see things like floating loot at the sky at Ripe Earth Homestead, it suggests the developers simply wanted to push the content out as quickly and cheaply as possible without any testing or QA, and that kind of thing simply isn't appealing to us over here. Speaking as a software developer, the type and nature of some of the bugs I've encountered in the game suggests some deeply rooted, very fundamental issues like solid principles not being adhered to, and lack of proper Unity and integration testing. When fixing one bug, it creates another bug. That's usually a dead giveaway that integration testing is not being done. And updates being pushed to live without going through the testing environment first, ? In every company I've worked for, if a developer pushed a change directly to live, it would literally cost them their job on the spot. So it is honestly shocking to see things like thermal tower perks not working at all, floating loot in the sky, invisible rift anchors, etc. in the way of the winter. For the love of God, please test things just a little bit. 5 minutes spent walking over to Ripe Earth Homestead and looking to see if things were placed correctly could have prevented that. They respond to this with, we sincerely apologize for the quality issues still present in the game. Each version undergoes rigorous testing with substantial manpower and resources before launch. However, Once Human is a large-scale open-world game with multiple scenarios and complex systems, so there are still unexpected issues that slip through. We realize these bugs can affect your experience, and we're continuously refining our proprietary engine and core technology to address them. Thanks to ongoing monitoring of in-game data and feedback, the number of bugs and unresolved issues has already decreased significantly. By 2025, we expect to fix the majority of these problems so you can enjoy a better gameplay experience. If you encounter any bugs while playing, please let us know via the CoDev feedback platform, and in-game support will review reports promptly and work on fixes as quickly as possible. Now, I'll be honest, I think that sounds very generic. They are not wrong. They have fixed a lot of bugs. So if you've played for a while, you know that this has definitely been something that they're constantly pushing out. The issue that I have with the whole bug fixes is they do the bug fixes, but then they don't release the patch notes for like a week later. So then you go into like the Discord and you look and it's like, oh, a week ago we fixed X, Y, and Z. It's like, okay, I think we need better communication there. Now they said that by 2025, I don't know if that's a translation issue, but they've got 1 day to fix all the bugs. They promised, clock's ticking. Next up, they say the difficulty cap. I know this isn't Elden Ring or Dark Souls, but still, veteran players who have 2 to 3 seasons under the belt are complaining that the hardest dungeons like Leah and Pro Mode silos have become trivial. My suggestion here, adding an optional Nightmare mode to all the silos and dungeons, featuring higher level enemies, more difficult mechanics that would be quick and easy to do, would give veteran players a new challenge to take on while we wait for new content, and would adversely affect newer players. And that is a great suggestion. I 100% agree with it. Let's see what they say. Raising the difficulty cap for players who've completed multiple seasons. We understand that longtime players might find current content less challenging as the seasons go on. To address this, we'll be launching a new season scenario called Lunar Oracle on January 16th. This new scenario will have higher difficulty level. Join in and test your limits. And then they go and link to the Lunar Oracle guide. And I'm looking forward to that. They also didn't mention that they're getting rid of hard mode, which, I've talked about in a previous video. If you want to know all about Lunar Oracle, I am excited for it, just because it's some new content. Check out my previous video. I did a whole thing on it. Next up, they say territory optimizations. There are a few technical issues that can be greatly improved without requiring much effort. A, territory lighting flickering issue. An easy quick fix would be to simply increase the brightness and radius of territory lights. This would result in players needing to build fewer lights overall to get the same amount of illumination, which should improve the problem of lights flickering when too many lights are present. In a similar vein, how about an option to build larger walls, say twice the height and the width of a normal wall? Again, this would result in fewer structures needing overall for certain parts of territories, resulting in improved performance. Agree with all that. Excellent. Next, surfaces with wallpapers applied are for some reason loading both the default texture and the wallpaper on top. This is completely unnecessary. Just load the wallpaper texture onto the surface and forego the default texture. Instant huge performance increase. Another good one. This guy knows what he's talking about. Then it goes on. Buffer zone for loading, unloading assets. Currently, if the player is a certain distance X away from the territory and they step slightly closer, X-1, the territory begins to load. Then if they step slightly back to the original point of X, the territory unloads. If they step closer back to the X-1, it loads again. The result is territory assets being loaded and unloaded over and over if the player is running around a small circle, which is a big strain on performance. A better algorithm would be assets load when the player is a certain distance, X away from the territory, but the territory assets don't unload until the player moves back at least 100 meters from that spot, so X plus 100. If the assets have unloaded, they don't load again until the player is back within X distance, and they can run around small circles without territories appearing and disappearing over and over. And that's another really good one. So let's see what they have to say about this. So we've passed these 3 issues on to the development team for internal review. We'll also consider other player suggestions and overall server performance before deciding how to implement these changes. Okay, so didn't really get what we wanted there, but hopefully the devs see that and they take that into consideration, because I think those were all pretty good suggestions. Next is custom content. Seems like you're already planning on implementing this with the upcoming escape room feature. I would suggest going all out there and allowing players to create their own silos and dungeons, fully featured with enemies and bosses. Then we can create challenges at whatever difficulty we want, invite others to complete them, and you have virtually unlimited supply of user-created content that keeps the game fresh and interesting while players wait for new scenarios. And this is something that I am looking forward to. Let's see what they say. They say, indeed, we plan to introduce a player-created escape room feature on the Eternal Land in the first half of 2025. It'll be available to all players for free. Stay tuned for more details in our upcoming official announcements. So I don't think that really answered anything, but that's what I'm hoping for too. I know I've talked about it before on the channel. Next up, cosmetics that fit the theme of the game. I personally don't care about this one so much, but many players here have suggested over and over that they want cosmetics that fit the dark, gritty, Lovecraftian theme of the game and are uninterested in the colorful, flashy, childish cosmetics. Why haven't you listened to them? You say you value player feedback, and players continue to suggest this, but as far as I've seen, you haven't addressed this at all. Why not give them what they want? They clearly are willing to spend money on it. So they say, we've heard your request and are already working on these darker, more Lovecraft-inspired cosmetics. If all goes well, you can expect to see them as early as February. Stay tuned. Now, I'm also on board with this. It doesn't truly bother me a ton, but I know a lot of players think that it does, and it would be cool if, you know, things actually felt like the game instead of generic skins. I personally think they're probably buying these generic skins because they have to pump them out so fast, and we've seen, you know, the speed in which it takes to enter, you know, get new content out. But every 2 weeks, like clockwork, you can expect to have some more loot crates with some more stuff. So I think they're probably just buying them, and that's why they're so generic. But it will be nice to see if they go ahead and start making them more towards the game, because the game is beautiful. It has a lot of really cool concepts. So I'd like to see that. Next up, and the last question here, is FPS drops from Frost Vortex, Biomass Missiles, Red Plasma Rounds, and Manibus visual effects. There are significant FPS drops that occur in the presence of Frost Vortex effects, the red visual effects from the Manibus, and Biomass Plasma Missiles. Players often misattribute this to server lag. Tone down the visual aspects, especially the red visual aspects or effects of Manibus, to reduce the FPS drops in these settings. If I'm missing anything big, please feel free to add it to the list. So they say, we are aware of the issues and have introduced a new option for disabling other players' combat effects in your settings. If the frame drop rates due to heavy visual effects, you can turn them off in the settings. At the same time, we're actively optimizing how these effects are rendered in combat. So they say, we're aware of the issue and have introduced a new option for disabling other players' combat effects in your settings. If your frame rate drops due to heavy visual effects, you can turn them off in the settings. At the same time, we're actively optimizing how these effects are rendering in combat. Our goal is to let you keep them turned on without suffering frame rate drops. That's it for this round of community hot topics, etc., etc., etc. So there we have it. What do you guys think? Do you agree with the poster? What do you think of their answers? I know I'm just happy that we get some answers back. I think it's really cool when they go out and do this and put themselves on a limb like this. It does show that they are listening, even if we're not getting things at the speed in which we do. I do think that they have a solid game with a good dev team behind it. I just wish that they would listen more and they would pump out some more content. I really wish they were working on the current content that we have and not looking for new scenarios. So, as promised, in order to join in on the giveaways, you're going to go down into the description of the video and we'll have a link for Discord. Join the Discord. Once you come to the Discord, you'll be in Troy Gaming TV. You're going to click on this giveaways button here. You'll see we have a bunch of giveaways that we've been doing. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, this is where the new giveaways are. We have the premium battle pass ending in 2 days, just as the new battle pass comes out. Once you sign up for this, we'll also have another one after this, and then we have a big prize. This is the Speedy Wings that you saw in the video. This right here. Also, we have one winner for now, but so you click this button and then boom, it'll tell you that you are in the giveaway. If you click it too many times, it'll say you're already entered this giveaway. So that's how you know that you're in. I'll be giving out more Speedy Skins after this one ends in 3 days, so make sure you get down there. And then just as a PSA, Today is the last day of the year, so Happy New Year if you're watching this today. You do have some time to log into your main, all of your alts, and make sure you snag that free Star Crom that they're giving away. It's a ton. I think it's like, I don't know, 37,000, maybe more Star Crom. So just log in all your alts, knock all that out, and get that done before the end of today. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more great Once Human content. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.